me, and the history. But me. Now those are all of my rules. As long as you can follow these rules, you will manage to not get kicked off of the boat. It's actually a lot easier than you would think.
Now, the first thing I will teach you about is the bridge you guys were just waiting under. That is the Commerce Street Bridge, where 7 years ago, Steve-O, I can't mention the movies he's in, his children on board, but Steve-O did a backflip off of this bridge into the river. He was unaware that this river is only 3 to 4 feet deep. So he broke both his ankles and his tailbone and got banned from the city of San Antonio for doing it. Now on the left, there is a statue of a woman lit up in gold. Now because we are coming up from behind the statue, I know what you're looking at. Okay, the resemblance is uncanny, but that is not Kim Kardashian from behind. Her name is Stargazer, and you'll find out why when you see her from the front. She is a brand new statue that was just unveiled less than 5 months ago, and she is made out of 14 pieces of volcanic rock that came all the way from Mexico. The only part of Stargazer that is not is the star. That star was made out of marble that was hand carved and then very carefully placed in the tip of her finger. Now this next part of the ride, as we come around this bend right over here, as we come past it, you're going to look to the left side of the boat and look off in the distance because you are going to see the tallest building in San Antonio. Okay, apparently y'all need help. All right, look at the back of the boat back at me. Look at my fingers. Look, over there. Left. Left. Over there. Yeah. That is the Tower of America. Built in 1968, 750 feet tall. The tippy-top portion of that tower is a public observatory as well as a restaurant called Tart House. The restaurant has 150 different beers on tap. Don't ask how I know. Now, the entire upstairs portion of that tower does one full rotation an hour, so you get a full 360. And because you are 700 feet in the air, you can see over 20 miles throughout the city from any given direction. And because of it, because of that, the Tower of the Americas gets voted as the #1 most romantic spot to go out to eat for dinner every single year. Hi! No, not really. No, not really. Now, we're going to come underneath this wind tunnel where it echoes, so I'm going to stop talking. Now, once we exit this footbridge, what you're going to do, look at the back of the boat where I am, then look above my head up on street level. You're going to see a giant red statue that looks like a bunch of red squiggly lines. That is the Torch of Friendship that was donated to us from Mexico back in 2002 as an apology. An apology for what? An apology for the Battle of the Alamo that happened in 1836. That battle was us versus Mexico, and Mexico kicked our butt. So they gifted us the Torch of Friendship as a peace offering. Now, in case you are unaware, there are 3 locations to hop on the boat. On the right, this is the second location. Now, these people get the exact same tour you do with the exact same amount of time. The only difference is, if they get picked up here, they get dropped off here, and the boat captains here aren't nearly as pretty or as funny as me. Woohoo! Now, on the left, this is the Hilton Palacio del Rio, or Palace on the River. It was built in 1968 and has over 500 rooms, and it was completed in 7.5 months. For comparison, that tiny ticket location took 18 months to build back in 2008. Now, it only took 7.5 months because it is a modular style building. Every single one of the rooms you see, they were stacked like a stack of Legos on top of one another. That is how it got completed in 7.5 months. And they made it in the 1968 Guinness Book of World Records. Now this part is Arneson River Theater. The left is the seating area that can hold over 800 people. On the right, there's bells lit up. Those bells represent the missions here in San Antonio. The middle one and biggest one represents the Alamo. But if the stage itself looks familiar to you, that means you have seen the 2000 film Miss Congeniality with Sandra Bullock. The swimsuit contest in the movie, that is the stage it was filmed and performed on. Now coming up on the right, there is a statue of a cowboy rounding up some longhorn cattle. That statue is here because of the Bristol Western Art Museum behind it. They opened up in 2013, but the building itself has been here since 1930. That was San Antonio's first ever public library. However, from 1968 until 2011, this building was a circus museum, where they had an entire floor dedicated just to historical clowns. Your ex was in there. Now in front of us, this is the Presa Street Cast Iron Bridge, otherwise known as how I get people off my boat who can't follow my simple directions. Now because it is cast iron, as we come underneath it, do not reach up to try and touch it. But it's hot, so if you need a haircut, you can lean your head out of the boat just a little bit. You'll get that haircut.
এজেন্ট তো বলছে সাবধানে
Now I'm going to point to the right side of my boat. There's a large tree right there. That is a cypress tree that creates an island out of its roots in the shape of a heart. Therefore, you're looking at Marriage Island. It's said to be good luck, so you have over 400 weddings a year on it, as well as over 2,000 documented proposals. And because of Marriage Island, this tunnel right here, its nickname is the Tunnel of Love. Because it gets dark, you get some privacy. Y'all know what happens next. I don't even explain that part.
ভালোই হয়েছে ওটা
Now, in my opinion, there is one building that stands out in San Antonio more than any other, and it's not the Tower of the Americas. It's called the Tower of Life, and it's going to be on the left side of the boat when you look up. Not your left, the boat's left. That is the Tower of Life. Owned by a life insurance company, built back in 1929 at the cost of $3 million. The flag waving in the wind. That flag is the same length of this boat, 30 feet long. But also, at the top of the tower, if you check it out, there are gargoyles surrounding the bridge. Those gargoyles are part of the bridge. Underneath the first set of windows, you can see them lit up in orange. There are ugly faces carved. Those faces are called grotesques.
Shut the
Now,
hell
both gargoyles and grotesques are meant to do the same thing, which is ward away evil spirits
Oh my
and bad business. So from top to bottom, this building is protected from both. So there they are, lit up in orange on the left side. Now, each face is different from the other, but I want you guys to look at the very first face you see when the wall ends. That face. Look at it. Unfortunately, that one, it looks just like my ex-boyfriend. I won't talk about it. Let me change the subject. Who wants to see how fast my boat can go? Yeah? Yeah? You're looking at it. This is as fast. Now, it is this part of the ride you're going to find out what happens if you don't pay to park your car in downtown San Antonio. So, if you pull up to a parking lot and you don't pay the parking attendant, this is what will happen to your car up front. Brace yourselves.
If you don't pay, your car gets towed. The city takes your horn and they give it to all the boats. This one came from a Prius, so pay for your parking. Now, I told you guys earlier, this river is only 3 to 4 feet deep. Remember, that's how Steve-O broke his butt. But what he should have done is build that back bridge here.
পুরো
We have just entered what is called the main channel of the river. That means underneath this boat now, the river goes from 17 to 24 feet deep. Now we are coming underneath what is nicknamed Love Lock Bridge. So once we exit, look at the back of the boat where I am above my head. It said if you come to Love Lock Bridge with your partner and a lock, you put your initials on it and then together lock it, take the key, and throw it over your left shoulder into the river behind you, that you're destined to be together forever. There's over 10,000 locks surrounding that bridge now. Unfortunately, 4 of them belong to me. Now, because this part of the river is so deep, at any given time underneath my boat, you can find crawfish, catfish, bass, tilapia, carp, turtles, brown water snakes, and water moccasins. All of that is here in this river. But don't act scared. It is illegal to get in this water to swim. Yeah, don't do it. It's illegal. Now, in front of the boat, we're about to see the oldest tree on the river. It's called the Ben Milo tree, and it's estimated to be over 400 years old. So it's older than the city of San Antonio itself. Now, for anyone 21 and over, on the right side of the boat, that is a tiki bar. Their happy hour is every single day between the hours of 3 and 6 p.m. Don't ask me how I know that. Now, if the tiki bar looks familiar, that is because they modeled it after a scene from Pirates of the Caribbean. So because of that, if you come and hang out at this tiki bar, whatever you do, do not mention the name Amber Heard, okay? They will kick you out. Now, we're going to come past this boat that is parked, and right next to it is what looks like a house with a balcony. That is the Esquire Tavern, the oldest and longest continuously running tavern in the state of Texas, because they opened in 1933, 5 seconds after Prohibition ended. Seconds. But if you look above the Esquire, that funky looking building right there, that is the Canopy Hotel that opened just last year. And it looks so weird because they were forced to build like that because the Esquire is protected by our
downtown Canadian.
They had to build it like that to do the least amount of damage as possible to the Esquire while it was under construction. Now this to the right, this is the last location you can hop on the boats. This is the Aztec location. It's called the Aztec because it's located